What is going on, everybody? We are joined by a very special guest, Mike Renner. You love it when a plan comes together, Mike, because you so graciously kicked off draft season on my channel with a wonderful draft primer. And now here we are about a week before the draft. And I'm not going to say it's going to be the last video before the draft, but it's pretty damn close. So it's good to get the bookends with draft season with you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It feels like draft season wasn't long enough. I need like a few more weeks. I know everyone hates it and like laments that the drafts last as long as it does, but like the 23rd, I think is the earliest I can remember it being, and it's like I need another few days. I just feel like we're cramming it in here.
I was having dinner with my wife last night, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I just need one more week. Like one more week to get everything ready would be great. She's like, you say this every year, Marcus. Like, to be
It's like
fair, we were robbed of Senior Bowl week. Like, we got robbed of like one of the best parts of, even
we
Shrine Bowl.
were.
We were like stuck in our hotels like the whole time, so we kind of lost a week. And it's like a week. The draft's like a week earlier this year too. So I think this year we especially get to complain about it.
That's a good explanation.
Coming up
Yeah,
too
I
fast.
feel like I've been uphill since the Senior Bowl. It's been uphill.
Yeah, yeah. Before we get started, remind the good people where they can find all your work.
You go to cbssports.com. My draft board, some cool draft articles I got coming up soon. I got one that's kind of like a draft notebook. That's all the interesting observations I have from this draft, like things that I find interesting of this draft class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably one of my favorite articles to write. So got this up on cbssports.com.
Very nice. So today we're going to be doing not a mock draft, been a lot of mock drafting going on, but it is kind of a draft of sorts. We're going to do a my guys and a not my guys draft. So we're going to kind of duel back and forth here. We're going to start on a positive end. I think we'll start with the good and end with the bad. We're going to do 5 my guys each. Obviously, we can't, draft the same player, so there might be a little stealing each other's guys, which will be fun. And then we're going to do 3 not my guys. We're going to try not to bash too many guys. Although I told you before the show, I wrote down 7 names, so I'm prepared to throw out some.
You got a deep board to get to.
I got a deep board. So yeah, these are always really fun videos. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give you the number 1 pick for my guys, and then we're going to bounce back and forth. We don't need to snake this thing. We'll just bounce back and forth.
I do Sam and Steve's video I've done the last 2 years where they ask who's your favorite prospect in this class, right? And it's always hard to limit it to one. Last year I picked David Walker, tore his ACL.
Dude, so I just sent in my video for that too, and I also did David Walker last year, which is funny.
So we had the same last year. I don't know how you feel about this guy, but Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is who I did this year. So I have to pick Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. And I've been kind of like anti-first round safety. I believe the positional value, but to me, I think in today's game, he is, I don't want to say perfect. I think Caleb Downs is perfect for today's game. Mm-hmm. He is close to perfect. Like, I think he's closer to Caleb Downs than he is to Dylan Thieneman. Like, I think he's that good as a prospect. I think he is as good a box safety prospect as I can remember. He's got the wingspan. He is sturdy. He hits like a hammer. I love his instincts. I love the way he plays the football in the air. The guy has it, in my opinion. And is he, can he play deep? I think he can. I think he gets undersold what he can do deep. He just never got asked to at Toledo. And I wouldn't ask him to in the NFL either. Like, I think he's like a Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James. He's around the line of scrimmage and he's causing havoc around the line of scrimmage. And then when you go man coverage, he's on a tight end and he's locking down a tight end. So to me, he's an awesome modern tight end. I feel great about his projection to the next level, and it's my number 1 pick here.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I guess the other fun part of this is we can have back and forth and see if we're in agreement on it. I'm not fully there with him. I guess I didn't see the run defense to the same level as you did. There's certainly like the instincts with him is the big selling point. Like, I love that about him. He's in my top 40. I've got him more like late 1, early 2. So I just still like him. But yeah, I think the Kentucky game was a bit of a turnoff for me with some of the angles he took from like deeper alignments. But like you're saying, you're not talking about playing him from deep.
Yeah.
So I think getting him around the line of scrimmage and using those instincts, I think it's a good call. But what's interesting is the number 1 guy on my list for my guys is Dylan Thieneman. So I disagree with your statement that
Yep.
that he's closer um, to Downs, but I think Dylan Thieneman is the best true free safety prospect that I've put a grade on since I started this in 2017. And the big caveat there is when you really go through like all the safety prospects, so few of these guys actually do play like legit free safety. And the interesting thing about Dylan Thieneman is they would use him as a free safety, but they also would just use him. They would just run cover two all the time, and he would be like the mid read defender, which is kind of like it's half cover two, half cover three. But he was responsible for the middle of the field, and they would just have their safeties spread wide, and like he just took everything away over the middle of the field. I think the 40 times shows. I think just his overall like the way he anticipates routes, closes on space. I think the range is incredible. I think he's got the ball skills. So if you are like a single high team, he would be extremely high on my board, like top 10 in this draft for me. And I think he can do a lot of the split safety stuff too. But exclusively like as a center fielding free safety, I think he's extremely special. And I think he just brings enough of everything else, whether it is to put him down in the box, do split safety, that his floor is really good however you want to use him. But it sounds like you might maybe are not as high on Thieneman here.
I think we're just like flipped. I have him 39th on my board. So it's
Yeah,
like
we are like flipped.
39th to me is a great safety prospect. I don't want to
Mhm.
denigrate Dylan Thieneman. I think, like all you said, it's more just what is single high ability in today's NFL? Like, how valuable is that
Mhm.
when no one's playing single high, really?
It's
And as
fair.
a, as a quarters sort of his man match ability or just ability to match routes from that alignment, I didn't think was as special as just purely ranging. Like you said,
Mhm.
when he's kind of a free player, that was when he was at his best, and that's his best reps. But when he has to lock in on an assignment, I didn't see a guy who could cover at the rate I would want a first round safety too, right?
Mhm.
Like if you draft a safety in the first round, he better be nails in those situations. That's my one knock, but it's like, dude, 39th for safety is a good safety.
Yeah. No, I think that's well said. And that's something too, like so much of the league now is in that split safety quarters stuff. Like it's this year it's been really interesting. Like when I was watching like Noah Igbinosun, for example, I'm like, okay, he's nice press man corner. There's like five teams that want that, you know?
Yeah.
Most of these teams are in that certain system. So it's really like exaggerated to that sense. And I think it has impacted my rankings for some guys. Didn't didn't come into my mind with Thieneman, obviously, but you're up next, my friend. Now, before we go to our next player here, I want to thank the sponsor for today's video and a brand new partner for the channel, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks platform, #1 daily fantasy platform. Their app is easy to use, picking more or less on any number of player stats. String together your lineups for the chance at massive payouts. In select states, Prize Picks even has team picks where you can select the winner, the spread, and total on any major game. And what I'm really excited about partnering with Prize Picks is you can now follow me like a social media platform on the Prize Picks app, follow along with my lineups. That is going to be at TFG_football. I will be building baseball lineups throughout the summer. I have reestablished my love of the game for baseball. And a platform like Prize Picks is a big part of that. Putting together a lineup to enjoy these games every day with a chance at payouts. And you know, when football season rolls around, we're going to be putting our football knowledge to the test with a chance to win some money there. So download the Prize Picks app. The code is going to be HMA when you sign up, or just click that description down below. With that code, you will get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. And again, track my username there at TFG_football as we move forward. So excited to partner with Prize Picks. Thank you for sponsoring today's video. And let's get to our next player.
But we didn't want to snake. We're going to go back and forth. Cool.
Yeah.
That behooves me to pick first then. All right.
I know.
Gosh, I got a bunch of guys. I think I got to pick this guy because he is, I've been super high in him since the moment I watched his end of the season.
I know who you're going to take, and I just realized I screwed up not taking him #1 because I wasn't planning to take guys from you.
Oh, do you know I'm going to take? It's Caden Proctor, the Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Not who you thought.
Okay.
He's top 5 player on my board. I'll just say right now, I think
Okay.
he's special. I see special traits. I see a uniquely gifted, uh, from a coordination perspective athlete. Like I think what I love what he does better than anyone else in this draft class, and truly like better than any big tackle I've seen in recent memory. And again, I didn't watch Jordan Mailata coming out, so I can't tell you how I felt about
Mhm.
him. His balance is insane. He's never on the ground. You cannot say that about any other 340 plus pound offensive lineman. Those guys are always, it seems like, slippy, top heavy. It's just not the case with Proctor. And now his pure mirror ability is obviously not elite, but it's not bad either. And he doesn't have to be a great mirror guy when you can't run down his throat, right? You're not going to bull rush him consistently at the
Mhm.
next level. And when, he gets one mid on you, he can stop a lot of stuff to his edges. So he's, I just think at 20 years old still, him and Maui Noah have the same age. They're not 21 yet. At 20 years old, have the same age. They're born the same day. I think he's just going to
Oh,
be a star. I think this guy is going to be a star at the NFL level. I can't believe that. I feel like I'm on an island with it, but
you
obviously I
are.
have to
Yeah.
draft him because I am out there on that island.
Yeah, even like being someone that like I'm comfortable with him, like say 17 to Detroit. It feels
Yeah.
like when I do those in mock drafts, people are like, "No, he's terrible." I'm like, "No, he's not terrible." I think what's most fascinating for me is the weight with him because he played close to like 380, did he not?
Yeah.
And
So
now
it's
it's
like, dude,
like
what does it look like if he wasn't three? If he actually
exactly.
is.
That's what gets me really excited about that. Because I think the foot speed is like his only issue. I agree with you. Like you can tell the guy is a great athlete. It's just when Alabama is asking you to play at 370 pounds or even more, it's like, yeah, there's gonna be some freaking limits there. So
And,
just get him down to
and
like 340. And what
and
does it
one
look
more
like?
thing that Kyle Long actually suggests this to me and I didn't think about it, but he's right. He said, because you know how many like they handed him the ball, they threw him screens.
Hmm.
He's like, you would be, that means that guy has to be in other meeting rooms. He has to do other things. He has to have a command of the playbook that like not every offensive lineman. It's like, it tells me
No.
he's smart, right? That's to give a guy packages like that. It means that he can put a lot on his plate. So that I also think is in his
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I like that. Okay, this is who I thought you were gonna take, and I'm gonna steal him from you because I know you like him.
Go for
Omar
it. Yeah.
Cooper Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're the only other person that I saw that quote unquote like beat me to it with Omar Cooper because I think you were talking about him like I don't know like first round top 20 or whatever. Um, and then when I had some tweets about it that people were showing me your take on it, so I was like, okay, Mike beat me to it, but I feel like I was still pretty dang early, like early January. I'm like, yeah, this is a easy first round grade for me at wide receiver. The thing I always just come back to Omar Cooper is like, what can't he do? Like, I think he's like a B to a B plus at like everything. Like, I think he's maybe not the fastest guy in the world. People were questioning that he might be slow, and I'm like, no, he's like a 4.45 ish type of guy. And then yeah, he runs like 4.46. Or like, hey, that box is checked. I think he's a really good, even underrated route runner. The hands are like awesome. Like he catches everything. He's got body control. He wins tough catches in traffic. Watch the play against Purdue or uh, Mendoza underthrows him and he like works back, mosses
Mhm.
three defenders, and then you see the run after catch stuff, which is fantastic. Another favorite play of mine is he one hands an out route against Oregon, breaks like three tackles, gets the first
Oh my
down.
gosh.
That play is that I think that was the one I was like,
Stupid.
and that's not even like the catch against Penn State that was like a ESPN like play of the year candidate. So I just see a true first round receiver. I mean, he stacks up, with players, previous years, guys like, Luther Burden. I was super high on Matthew Golden. I think he's close to probably where I had like Roma Dunze. Like I see him in, easily take him in the top 15 and feel really good about it. So I had to put him here.
See, I wanted to be like Omar Cooper top 10. Like I think he has
Yeah.
top 10 ability in this draft class. The fact that he was stuck in such a weird role at Indiana
Mhm.
and that he was not productive until his senior year. Those are like the two things making me be like, okay, You just probably should be a little safer and not draft that guy
Yeah.
top 10. But when I watch this film, I'm just like, I get giddy.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. It's like, this guy is crazy talented, just off the charts talent. There's really nothing on the field that I saw where I'm like, yeah, I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you take a receiver top 10, it's like, you want that guy to hopefully maybe be like an alpha, like no doubt number one in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like, you're probably always going to be in a spot where you could probably get a better number one than Omar Cooper. I think he could be like DJ Moore, who I think has been on the low end of that at times in his career. But yeah, we're in agreement on him for sure. You're up next.
All right. I got a lot of ways. I'll do one more top guy and then I'll start going down the board.
Yeah, that's kind of how I have it. I've got some deeper guys and
I really like both Jermod McCoy and Avion Terrell. But for this, I think I'll go Avion Terrell because I mean, everyone has the same take on McCoy. It's like his tape was so good that you overlook, and it's like that's how I feel. I think his tape was special. But Avion Terrell, I don't think gets that same, like, his tape's so good we overlook that he ran a 4.64. And that's but I think his tape's so good that I'm closing my eyes and covering my ears when people say 4.64, because I'm just like, he's got it. Like, the guy's got it. Watch him flip his hips in the combine. Watch him move in space. Watch him hit around the line of scrimmage. It's like, he's got it. The guy has it. And I think it's a really modern skill set too. With what he has, it's a lot of plays from off coverage, but then being able to match from off coverage. I think he's well suited for the NFL game, and now he's short, but he's not trim framed. He has long arms. He has over 31 inch arms at his size. So he can still affect the catch point. He had a longer wingspan than Mansour Delane by like almost 2 inches. I want to say at least over an inch. So I have Avion Terrell cornerback too. I have him the 10th overall player in my draft board. I am probably about as high, if not higher, than anyone on him.
10th. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect the hell out of that. I like him a lot. As you were talking, it just hit me what his pro comp is. I didn't have a good one. I had Jordan Lewis earlier, and I was just like, but it just hit me. Byron Murphy.
Yeah, he's very Byron Murphy-esque.
Yeah, because he can play inside out, about the same size. He's scrappy, and just the stickiness in coverage.
I love Murphy too.
Yeah,
he ran a 4.6, right? You were a 4.59.
It was slower, yeah. And I heard that Terrell pulled up with a hammy on that 4.6.
I think he did. I don't think he's that slow. I would have guessed 4.5 if I.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, so I got Byron Murphy updated in there. I was literally just updating it while you were talking. Cool. Yeah, I like Terrell too. He's not top 10 for me, but I like trusting the eyes there. Okay, next up, you went a little bit further down. Someone's gonna go like end of 1, early 2. So I'll go that range with this guy, and then we'll dip into the bag for the last couple. I will go with, because I used this guy for Sam and Steve's video. So maybe I'll save that for that video. But that was Jeremy Bernard. You can still draft him if you want. Jeremy. But yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna dip a little further down. Kevin Coleman Jr. He got a little hype. He got a little hype in January. Was like, he made my top. He actually made my initial top 10, I think. If not 10, yeah, he did. He made my initial top 10, and then killed it at the Senior Bowl. Like, I thought he was probably, you can make an argument he looked like the most complete receiver on the Senior Bowl one-on-ones, just route running, over the shoulder catches. And everyone was like, yeah, Kevin Coleman Jr. is really nice in January. And then everybody just stopped talking about him. And I guess he's just a day 3 wide receiver now. So I'm a little confused where the hype went, because I feel like it was there early. But dude, I think he's a really good starting slot wide receiver in the NFL. They didn't ask him to run a ton of like complex routes. There's a lot of crossing routes and stuff, and it's a legitimate criticism on him. But I think he showed at the Senior Bowl, and there's moments on tape as well where it's like, yeah, if you ask him to set guys up and show the wiggle, like, he's got that nuance. And I don't want to just keep coming back to the Senior Bowl, because this is all stuff that I had written on him before he did all this stuff at the Senior Bowl. But he made that beautiful, like, over the shoulder, like, kind of contested type catch that shows up all over his tape. Like I wrote down shades of Emmanuel Sanders with him where he's not the biggest guy. Emmanuel Sanders played very close to his size, 5'11", 180. Coleman's a little bit lighter. He plays like 173. But the same idea where it's like you shouldn't be making as many tough contested catches as you do at that size, but you figure it out anyway. There's some of that, like Tyreek Hill was really good at that. Like Devonta Smith is really good at that. I see that same ability to kind of muscle guys up. So I see a guy that could be a number 2 wide receiver, but worse, like I think he's a super high floor number 3, late second, early third round. I'm cool with it, even though no one's talking about him. So Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri.
He's one of the best route runners in class. I don't think that's debatable. He's awesome in that regard. And he's got really good hands too. He's a 4-schooler. I don't know what to do with 4 schoolers. He went to 4 schools in 4 years. And he is not that big for slot receivers. I love Tank Dell coming out. Loved him when he was on the football field. But is that guy going to stay healthy as a slot receiver? Like, how many of those guys stay healthy in today's NFL at 170s, mid to high 170s? It's a tough biz unless you're like a true vertical guy at that size.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably my own thing, but he's a good player. I think he's like just outside my top 100.
Cool. All right, you're up.
All right. I'll go down the board. Got a lot of different ways I'd go with this. I'll go with this guy because I'll stay at wide receiver. This guy's going to be in my top 100. I don't think he's going to be in a lot of top 100s. I see a guy who has elite juice, elite ability, control of speed, and he's been productive. He just was not in the place this year where you could be productive, and it's Eric Rivers, the Georgia Tech wide receiver. I see a awesome, he's the back in my top 100. He's never going to be a 1 or a 2. But this class has a bunch of guys in this mold of speedier, explosive wideouts who aren't really full route tree guys. But to me, Rivers can really get open. If in that sort of short motion, the cheat motion that they're doing at the NFL level, like he can do things like that. And he is around a 4.35. And like I said, he controls that speed better than a lot of the other fast guys in this class, where he can go from 100 to 0 very quickly, a lot better than the other guys in this class. So I think he's just like, I would love pick 90, draft Eric Rivers, and just have him be my wide receiver 3, or kind of just a role player who's going to, in certain situations, certain formations, just provide a pure juice element to my offense.
I like that. I was just on the Pewter Report for a 7-round Bucks mock draft, and I think in the 4th round I suggested Eric Rivers as a really nice deep threat for that wide receiver room. So I'm right there with you on him. I think he even showed some signs of some advanced, more advanced route running at like the Shrine Bowl that he just wasn't able to show off at Georgia Tech. So there maybe could be more developed with him. But yeah, I like that. And I'll kind of stick. Well, I don't want to go all wide receivers, but I feel like there are some wide receivers in this draft that have gotten hidden by other guys that might be not my guys candidates. But like Dejon Stribling as well is someone I would like to shout out here. But I don't want to pick all wide receivers. So, but kind of same idea in that kind of like 3rd round range. But I'm going to pick someone I watched yesterday, because I'm curious. I'm curious what you think about him if you've watched him. Jimmy Rolder, linebacker out of Michigan. I'm very fascinated by him because he was a highly recruited guy, didn't really get on the field till his senior year. Apparently a lot of injuries, so it could just be like, yeah, this guy just can't stay healthy. But I like the tape, man. He's not that fast. Like he didn't run a 40. Probably would be like low 4.6s, like maybe even 4.7, but he's really quick. He's got all the change of direction, the agility. He's listed at like 238, but he looks like he's and he weighed, like he measured in at the combine at that, but he looks like he's one of these kind of like quicker 230-pound guys. So like he really navigates blocks well. I think he actually does more in his zone drops than, because all the reports you read on him, it's like, yeah, he can't play coverage. But I actually see a lot of the, active eyes taking stuff away. He doesn't have a ton of range necessarily if you want him to like drop into a mid read and a cover two, like, yeah, I'm probably not asking him to do that, but I think he can take away stuff underneath. Worked really well in scramble drill to just find work and take stuff away, like really good instincts there. And for a guy that only played a year at Michigan, like he's out there, pre-snap, getting everybody lined up. I think he's got really good like diagnostics and all that. Like, I don't know. I see him as a really intriguing gamble at the top of the fourth round or late third, just because he's maybe hasn't played that much and there's some injury stuff maybe kicking him down the board, but I could see him kind of having diamond in the rough potential.
So I'm embarrassed to say I have not watched him, and I'm sad because I think it was like week 2. I had watched him, talked about him on a Shrine Bowl call, and then it just like the
Yeah,
season
it's
went on.
okay. It
Didn't get
happens.
back
I
to him. So
watched
I
him
haven't
yesterday, so you're
But
fine.
he's on my list. I
Yeah.
finalized the draft board over the weekend. He was one of the guys on my list. I have a handful
All
of
right.
guys where I like saw in recent weeks people talk about, and I'm like, shoot, I need to watch these guys, but I've just been so
Okay.
deep in the
Well,
weeds
when you
that
watch him, shoot me a
all
text
right,
and let me
we'll do.
know what you think. Okay.
All right, I guess my last one here. My last one has to be Trey Zune, because I am the
Nice.
difference between him on my board versus where he is in the consensus board. I'm pretty certain is the biggest difference of anyone. I have him as top 50 player. I think the guy is just a good offensive lineman. Now, is he a tackle? Is he a center? Is he a guard? I really don't know, but I watch him and I see a guy who's as skilled as anyone with his hands in this draft class. And my thing, I say it every year. I'm like, O-line is a skill position at the end of the day. Skill is what wins. You can be the most physically imposing guy in the world. If you don't know how to use your hands, people will just run circles around you at the NFL level. So he's physically needs to get stronger, but I don't think he needs to get that much stronger. You look at his athletic testing measures, and he had a really high RAS score. He's a really good, well-rounded athlete. Arms are just a touch below 33, but I think he could stick a tackle, truthfully. You're not getting a people mover, but I think you're getting a guy who can pass protect.
Our minds went to a very similar place for our 5th pick. And I agree. I like Zune a lot. Not quite top 50, but like day 2, his flexibility is really nice. He's probably going to end up a Packer is probably what's going to happen, because they love guys that can play anywhere. Yeah. But yeah, very kind of in the same ballpark for my last pick here. And the people that follow me on Twitter knew this had to make the list here, and I don't know if you've watched him yet, but Carver Willis out of Washington. Have you watched him?
Yep, I like Carver Willis a lot too. He's easy
Dude.
top 100 guy for me.
Nice, great. All right, you're the first person I've heard that has him top 100. He's just like you said with Trey Zune. He's a top 50 guy. Carver Willis is 2nd round grade for me. Nice. And yeah, dude, like you start with just didn't blow anybody away with the RAS, but wasn't bad. But you watch the tape, it's like, yeah, that guy moves. He's got confidence. He gets off the ball. He's a really fun, just the run blocking tape is some of the most fun in this tape, in this class. And, I don't know that he'll ever be an elite pass blocker because he's not like the strongest guy in the world, but I think he's strong enough. Like, I think he's got shorter arms. You could probably beat him with a bull rush if you're one of the, strongest, longest edge rushers in the NFL. But quick feet, good technique. And I love just kind of the trajectory in the sense that he totally broke out once he got with Washington's coaching staff, which is one of the best, if not the best, O-line coaching factories in college football. Which, by the way, we just don't have enough good O-line coaches to go around. There's only a few. It's a true testament to see what happens when a guy goes to that program like this. But he was balling out, and then he tore his MCL midseason and was maybe going to be out for the year, but he comes back right at the end of that timeline. His first game back, he puts Gabe Jackas in a box. And then the next week, the tape, you can see it against Wisconsin. That knee was really bugging him that next week. And that was his worst game of the year. He gave up 7 pressures, and almost all of them is he can't quite pick up that inside right leg where the MCL was. So I think if he was able to stay healthy and get through the year, he would have had the day 2 hype, but it just kind of got cut off of his breakout season kind of got cut off. So I'm a huge fan there.
I like Carver Willis. I'm not top 50, but the guy obviously has the movement skills, and I think he sticks a tackle too. He's another one that's I think people oftentimes underrate what wins at tackle, and it's guys that have mirrors. It's not guys that look like they can, look the part. It's
Yeah.
a movement based position more so than guard or center.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, like kicking a smaller guy inside is not necessarily
Exactly. Like
logical. Like
everyone
you're
wants to move
dealing
these
with
guys
more
inside.
play
It's like,
strength. Yeah.
how does going against 350 pounders help Trey Zoon, right?
Yeah.
Is that gonna make things easier for him? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's shift to just bashing some dudes,
Whew.
undraftable grades on all these guys. Yeah, I'm curious which direction you go with first on this one.
I used to I feel like I used to relish the bashing part too much. And now I honestly dislike it. It's not fun, but it's reality. Sometimes
Mhm.
my board is the board, and
Yep.
not
That's why I only
everyone needs
want to
to
do
be a first
3 of
round grade.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my first one, and unfortunately, a couple of mine that I had in my tank here are injured. I don't want to say unfortunately. I mean, unfortunately for them, they're injured. But I this is like pre-injury. I wasn't even in. It's first one's Caleb Banks from Florida,
Okay.
and like post-injury, I'm definitely not in, right? But even just on the football field, who he is exceedingly tall for a defensive tackle. Every bit of 6'6", and he is very tight. He is. You watch. I go to the Senior Bowl 101s, and unfortunately, I wasn't there to watch them in person. But when he gets to the edge of an offensive lineman, more like how you need to win in the NFL, how you need to win those reps is to get then dipping back underneath to the quarterback. When you get to an edge, you need to be able to bend that edge back to the quarterback to get to behind the offensive lineman. Caleb Banks just cannot do that. He does not do that on tape. Find me a rep of him ripping back to a quarterback. There's just none. He has to win on contact with explosiveness. And I'm not going to act like it's easy to block him when he fires off low at 6'6", 330. Like he's a special linear explosive strength athlete. It's just you will be inconsistent if you guess wrong. And I think that's what you see on his tape is when he has the play down pat, when he fires off right into where the play is supposed to be going, it looks crazy. But when he has to adjust, you see footwork and bend that is not good enough to be people talking about top 10 guy, top 10 tools. I don't think there's that ceiling because of the athletic limitations that he has. He can be a fine NFL player, but then you add the foot concerns, and it's like I would not take him until day 3 in this class.
It's a fun conversation because some players, it's just like if you have disagreement, and I disagree with you on this, but I think it's fascinating because some players, it's like, yeah, I just saw it differently. Like I think he's better at that or whatever. He's such a unique player where it's like I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just more willing to gamble on his unique play style, that kind of dancing bear mentality, where I think
crazy. Yeah, I mean, just
and
insanely gifted.
Part of it could also just be, and he's going to be a really fun player to see what happens if he's healthy. I mean, God willing, then he could just never play, which would be devastating. But I was kicking myself for not betting on Deone Walker even more, who I liked last year. And he wins as a pass rusher the same exact way. And Deone Walker was doing it in the NFL last year. And I think Caleb Banks, it's like almost eye for an eye. And I think Banks actually showed even more with just the bull rush, which I do think he's going to be able to bull rush guys. Like there's some really good reps when he just lays into guys. But yeah, I think the contact balance at his size is really impressive, and guys will stick him and jab at him, and he just keeps playing through it. And I totally understand why you watch it and you're like, no, you're not supposed to be able to do that. And like, he's a day 3 guy. I think it's totally a fair response to like watch that. I'm just more willing to gamble on the style translating. But yeah,
I mean, he contact does not phase him the way it phases other guys. I mean, he's so dense for 327. So that's also why I worry about the foot, is because he can't lose weight. Like there's no way to lose for that guy. He's just, that's a massive dude.
Yeah. Okay. It almost feels lazy to take Keldrick Falk because he's been like the not my guy for everybody.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about.
You heard the age thing, right? He's not even 20 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's 21. So the age that he was the youngest guy in the draft class is actually incorrect.
How do they get that wrong?
I don't know, but his mom wished him a happy birthday, his 21st birthday last October or whatever.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes me like him even less because that's like the idea of him. Uh, but yeah, my main take on him is, I mean, it's the same as everybody else. Like, doesn't really rush the passer. I think he's getting bad advice. I think he's a defensive tackle. Like,
I agree.
he's a speed to power player. He dropped all this weight to run a 4.69. It's like, dude, you're not Trayvon Walker. Like, you're not going to get down to 270 and run a 4.5 and be this like incredible guy that we think can
Mhm.
go out on the edge and eventually develop in the way that Trayvon Walker did. Like, for him to drop weight was really discouraging because I was kind of on the fence with him as like 20-ish
Mhm.
before the combine because he was at 285 pounds. And I was looking at actually a Packer in Colby Wooden, who came out a few years ago, was on same system, 285 pounds, and he went the other way. He got up to like 295 pounds, and he just got traded. But he, decent for what he was getting there, and we'll see what he can do with the Colts. But that's the exact same path I wanted to see with Falk. Because when he wins, it's like, okay, there might be a swim move in there, the little shock and go move on the inside. Like, he would be a good athlete for a D tackle. And at 20 years old or 21 now, it's like we can still get you there. But him at 275 pounds, it just really doesn't do anything for me. And I don't think he's ever going to be a good pass rusher there unless you're sliding him inside. And then it's just like, what are we doing? So he's a true second round guy for me. And even then, it's just like I'm not that excited when he comes off the board. I feel like he's just going to be a heavy handed edge and maybe the occasional pass rush win when he lines up inside. But
We are in lockstep there. He was one of the guys on my list here.
there you
All
go.
right. Next one. And this is another guy who was hurt, but it's like, I didn't love him before he was hurt, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Chris Bell, the Louisville wide receiver.
Mm.
Another crazy athlete, right? I feel like he's the wide receiver version of Caleb Banks because he is incredibly gifted, right? He's 6'1",
Yeah.
220, crazy strong. I think his most impressive reps come with that frame, like the play strength. But to me, I don't see a naturally fluid separator who has the body control to win at the next level consistently. I think he can be. I see a lot of Xavier Legette, unfortunately, in his profile.
Mm.
Now, I like him probably a little bit more than Legette, but I didn't like Legette. Like, Legette was 90-something on my draft board coming out that year.
Yeah.
I went in the first round. Bell's going to be like in the 80s on my draft board, back into the top 100. It's just he can win with that speed. He can win with that size. What else does he have to win with in his arsenal? There's, people are calling him AJ Brown, but to me, he moves closer to like a DK Metcalf. And,
Yeah.
If you are truly a size speed freak, you can win like DK Metcalf. But is he really, is he, especially with the ACL tear, is he a 4-3 guy that can run past NFL corners consistently? I don't think so. He really wasn't even like a vertical threat that much at Louisville, like a pure go ball guy. So I don't see how his role, I just think his role is kind of a little limited in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I don't see like the wide receiver one potential.
Yeah, we're pretty close there. He's got probably the widest draft range for me because of the injuries, second to a fourth round grade. Yeah. But it's not just the injury. Like, I think best case, like Rashee Rice and how he's used with the Chiefs would be like, if he can get a little bit better off the line and better, like winning those tough catches over the middle. But even then it's like, he still has to get more consistent at that. So yeah, I've seen a lot of like top 50 hype for him. And that's certainly risky for me for mm-hmm. sure. All right. I get two more guys here. So who do I want to roast the most? Okay. Kamari Ramsey. I didn't see, I mean, this was honestly a guy who's like, I don't think that's a draftable prospect yet. He's like top 100 on the big board. Now, to be fair, I didn't go back to watch 2024, which everybody says you got to go back to 2024. And unfortunately, there's only so much time. And I'm not going back to watch this 2024 tape. Maybe I will by the end of the week. But the reason everybody says that is because he played more like deep safety stuff. and they say he's got more range and ball skills and instincts on the back end. It's not like he never played deep safety this year. And I didn't like what I saw in those 20% of the reps when he did play deep safety. What bothered me the most about Kamari Ramsey and why I said I don't think he's draftable is I haven't seen a defensive back in the slot in a long time that cared less about the run. Like he just didn't look inside, like didn't show much effort to get off blocks. I thought just the play recognition was horrible there. And I didn't think he was anything like special as a coverage defender. Like I think he's fine and he's got decent instincts and moves okay, but it was just like he's kind of a late day 2, maybe early day 3 in that sense. But the fact that he was so disinterested on tape, like week after week, it was just such a turnoff to me that I was just like, I'm gonna let someone else take this guy, like in the draft period. So maybe I overanalyzed it, but I just couldn't be really any less interested in Kamari Ramsey.
We were kind of the same on this one. He's not a top 100 guy for me. I don't think he's going to make my top 150. I see some coverage traits, but
right.
I don't see a safety. Honestly, I see closer to a corner skill set with him. And I don't think it's so much so that I'm, going to bat, taking him again, top 150 at corner. Like, there's just better corners in this class. So with him, I'm not I am right there with you. I don't see a physical safety that is going to be able to handle the rigors of the NFL and what he's going to be asked to do.
Yeah. And I said undraftable, like the grade is a 5th to a 6th round grade, but it's just like, it sounds like he's going to go before that. So, if we get to the 6th round, it's like, let's have a conversation with him and see why the hell he wasn't paying attention to the run. Can we get a little bit more out of you there? But yeah, I'm out on him.
All right. Last one. Got to make it a good one. This one hurts me to do because he's a Culver's fan, and I am.
I know who this is,
but I am not a Jennings Dunker stan.
Okay.
I don't think he has the chops for pass pro. I think he's top heavy. The frame is insane. Like I really want to like him because he's so well put together. I mean, you just look at him and the rest of the Iowa offensive line, and he sticks out like a sore thumb because the guy is wide. And I love broad offensive linemen. It's an underrated trait, is just their composition, body composition. Are they thick? I love thick offensive linemen. I cannot lie. And he is, but he just is too top heavy. I think his balance is too bad. I think he's poor in space, truthfully. And he got so protected in Iowa's offense. Tight splits, outside zone. It's simplistic. Let him kind of, you see him do the same thing. It was when things shifted, when he had to adjust. He's not a reactive athlete. It's one of my reactive athleticism, a term I use a lot, that I love seeing guys who can handle unexpected things being thrown at them. I didn't see it with Jennings Dunker.
I think it's fair. Did you write him up as a tackle or a guard?
Guard. Even then, everyone has him top 100. A lot of people have him top 75. He's going to be outside my top 125.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and he is fascinating because pretty much all the good run blockers, I feel like I don't know why I'm losing my voice. We're only 40 minutes into this thing. I haven't recorded anything else today. So many like the good run blockers, like they fly off the ball, they knock you back. They have like get off and leg drive combination that you really want to see. He's like kind of slower off the ball, and he kind of is more of that, like, I'm going to grab you and walk you back type, which technically, like, that's good technique. But it's just different than what a lot of these guys do. And it's like, is that gonna, like, does he have enough of the get off and the immediate power to help him do what he does well? Cause he's like the pass blocking is a total question mark, like you said. So I don't think it's crazy. I still see him as a 2nd round guard prospect, cause I'm buying into that conversion. But
yeah, I mean, the only reason we want to move him to guard though is because he's not good at pass blocking and tackle, right? Like he does not, there's nothing athletically or size wise in his, because 5'1", 840, 4'6", short shuttle. Those are 9-foot broad jump, 32.5-inch vertical with a 6'10" wingspan. Like that guy should be a tackle. And I'm saying, like, the fact that we're like, oh, he's a guard. Well, it's like, why is he a guard? it's because he's actually bad at tackle. It's like, okay, that's why we're moving him to guard.
Sure.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm probably a little lower on him.
All right. My final pick. Like I said, I have 5 names here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the 5 off. And I want you to tell me which one you disagree with the most as a not my guy. And then I'll try to tell you why. So, Jacoby Lane, Danny Dennis Sutton, Mike Washington, Gabe Jackas, and Dominique Orange.
Gabe. The rest I can kind of see. Orange, I'm fine with. The rest I'm probably pretty low on too. But Akis can ball, man. I'm high on Akis. He's top 40 for me.
Top 40. See, that's just where, like, I just don't see him as someone that I think you're going to be happy with as one of your 2 edge starters. I see him as more like that perfect number 3 where he's just solid at everything. I did 4 games, watched all the pressures. It's like, I didn't see the it from him. He does a lot of everything. Like, I love the pass rushing bag, but I felt like he just wasn't dominant with any one move. The power's like good, but I don't think he has overwhelming power. Really solid run defender, but I can't get to the top 50 with him. So that's why he was on my list.
Where are you? I'm curious because I see these 2 guys somewhat similarly. Where are you on Akeem Mesidor?
Love Akeem Mesidor.
Okay, so to me, Gabe Akis you're getting Akeem Mesidor 2 years before Akeem Mesidor. To me, he's what Mesidor was before he broke out to being just like a dude this year, because Mesidor kind of has a well-rounded game that doesn't need one way to win. That's how I see Akis, that he can win with power sometimes, he can win with speed sometimes if it's a slower footed tackle. Like, he had a really good 10 split, I believe, at his 159 10 split at 260. He's a former wrestler. I just think there's a lot to like about his game that you'll see a better guy in 2 years from now with Gabe Akis. And that's what I'm buying into is I think this guy, the reviews about him, he's going to put in the work and he'll get to that. So like I said, I think you're getting just a Akeem Mesidor pre-breakout, true breakout.
We'll see. We'll see. I didn't see quite the same springiness and get off and twitch that you get with Mesidor. So I just don't know that that's going to translate to the upside, but we will see, I suppose. All right. That was a great show, man. Efficient, but like just getting into the weeds of it. I love it. So everybody make sure you go check out what Renner was talking about earlier with all his good work over at CBS. And let us know in the comments as well who are your my guys and not my guys, and tell us where we're right and wrong on these guys as well. So thanks for the time, Mike. Good to see you.
You as well, Marcus. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yep.
Go back up.